G'day and welcome to another episode of Ian Smissen's Photography. So Happy New Year everyone and welcome to 2018. This year I've decided to add a little challenge to my landscape photography. We always go out there and try and shoot the best we can, but often we fall back on the favourite strategies, techniques and ways of viewing the world when we're out there. So to try and enhance some creativity this year, I've given myself a 52-week challenge. Each week I'm going to try a different strategy, technique, theme or way of shooting. And to add a little bit of fun to that, I've decided to associate each one of those with a card in a deck of playing cards, and to draw those at random each week and then go out and shoot that theme. This way I'll be able to go out and try something different. Sometimes those things are going to be my favourites, but other times there'll be things that I haven't really thought about or concentrated on. But it also means that you get to go to a place that you like, but you have to try and look for something different. A different technique, a different theme, a different way of viewing the world, rather than just falling back on the old favourites. So I've listed all of these in advance and they're on my website, and I'll put the link to that below. And I'll put a blog post for each of these and hopefully create a little video for each one. So to kick me off, my wife decided she wanted to draw the first card, and she drew the 3 of diamonds. And the 3 of diamonds is associated with the compositional technique of using diagonals. So this morning before sunrise, I went out to shoot the Barwon River from the Barwon River bridge, the bridge that runs between Ocean Grove and Barwon Heads. Normally I'd do a video in the field and talk you through what I was doing on camera, but it was a bit difficult this morning. I was there well before sunrise, so it was fairly dark, but also there are a lot of people already on the beach, and there's a lot of road traffic on the road bridge right next to the pedestrian bridge. So it really wasn't going to be easy to do a talk to camera video while I was out there in the field. But what I'm going to do is talk you through on screen the shot that I took and how I used diagonals to improve the composition of this image. So I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and remember, pixels are free, so get out there and shoot. Bye. So here's the image that I've selected from the shoot this morning. As I said in the introduction, I was shooting at the Barwon River mouth from the bridge from Barwon Heads to Ocean Grove. The thing that obviously attracted my attention here was this beautiful pre-dawn pink sky and the reflection in the river. I used a circular polarizing filter and a 3-stop neutral density filter to slow the shutter speed down to give me this blurring effect on the water. I thought it would be a nice counterpoint from the detail in the sky, in the clouds in the sky, to have this slightly blurred effect on the water rather than just being a direct reflection. And I also put a 4-stop graduated neutral density filter across the sky. It was very bright in comparison with the foreground, and I wanted to make sure that I could balance those out and didn't have to do too much in post-production. But in terms of composing this image, the challenge for the day was diagonals. So what I was trying to do is to get this strong leading line, diagonal, of the shoreline coming into the centre point of the interest in the image, which is the restaurant on the jetty and the bluff behind, and then obviously the sky behind that. So if I just add a layer here, and using the brush, you can see that I've got this line that comes in from here all the way through to this central point. But I also have a line in the sky that's bringing me in and following that diagonal. So I get this diagonal from top left to bottom right. And the reflection of this sky also gives me another diagonal line that comes in here. And there's a subtle diagonal line that comes in here as well. All mean that I end up on the central point of focus for the image. So one of the strong points that you can always look for with diagonals is to have them lead your eye into the image. You can also try and shoot just diagonals for their own sake, But in this case, the diagonal was part of the image that I wanted to use to make sure that I got these pathways coming through the sand on the shore and the pathways through the sky and through the water that would lead me into the central point of the image. And it's worth noting here that I've broken that rule of thirds by putting the image, the central focus of the image, right in the middle. And that again emphasizes the importance of diagonals. If I'd moved that into a rule of thirds position, either up here, or here, or here, or here, then it just wouldn't have worked quite the same, because I would have ended up with the diagonals not crossing over in the center. I still would have had those diagonals there, but it would have taken the emphasis away from these other three diagonals in the sky and the water that counterbalance the strong diagonal here. If I just used, say, this top left point and put the bluff up here, that would have emphasized the reflection in the water, which was quite dark at the bottom and fairly uninteresting in comparison with the bright sky, but it would have made a very strong diagonal line from the bottom right corner, which would have been a nice thing to do in some circumstances, but really the essence of this image is in the top left. So I wanted to have that top left balanced by the bottom right. I didn't want either of them to be dominating each other. So I hope you've enjoyed that little guided tour through a diagonal. So when you're out there and you're trying to compose, have a look for diagonal lines and see if you can use them to lead your eye into the shot, or just use them as a point of strength in your design and your composition. So have fun, remember pixels are free, and get out there and shoot. Bye.